Welcome back to the Muster Point, the podcast where we peel back the poncho of denial and poke at the steaming heap of stuff we'd rather forget. I'm Stu Mendelson, ex-raw engineer, proud survivor of operational tours, ship blockmates, and a bloke in my section who thought Febreze was an acceptable substitute for a shower.
And I'm Steve Black, former 2nd Royal Tank Regiment, witness to more trauma than a chef's mystery meat lasagna, and the only man I know that once walked into a porter cabin and nearly called in a CBRN response. If you've ever walked into a scene that made you question your career, your life choices, and your gag reflex, you're in the right place.
Today we're going deep into the twisted trenches of memory. We're talking about the worst things we've ever witnessed, on tour, in the block, down the corridor of nightmares. That one bloke's room that smelled like regret and broken dreams.
From Afghan horrors to Aldershot hangovers, we've seen things, mate. Things that'll make civvies weep, vomit, or write a strongly wordly letter to Ofcom. But if you don't laugh, you'll cry. And crying wasn't in the JNCO CARDA syllabus.
So whether it's a half-naked squaddy trying to deep clean his inspection room at 3 a.m. with vodka and a mop, or a blackout story from Bastion that ends with a camel and discharge, stick with us. It's going to be grim and glorious.
This is the muster point, where the memories are messy, trauma has punchlines, and the bogs are always worse than you remember.
Back again, Steve.
We are.
No Chizard today.
Thank God.
Thank God, you're horrible. Absolutely.
No, he's a good lad. I know we give him shit. I think we buried the hatchet last week with the Raf Reg and us.
Yeah, after, was it last week, with Jay Hall's message about, it was pretty brutal, wasn't it, about the Raf Reg. And yeah, I thought, what did you say? Chizard dug them out more than we did.
Well, I've got to admit, though, we dig them out all the time. However, like Chizard said, their job was to defend the airfield and stop the Blitzkrieg.
Yeah.
Well, they've done a good job because there ain't been a Blitzkrieg since. So,
yeah, there hasn't, has there?
So fair play.
Yeah.
So can we give them a round of applause?
Fair play to the Raf Reg, of course we can. Here we go. So when did we recorded last Monday, wasn't it? So that Jay Hall came down to the muster point, didn't he?
He did. Good lad.
I didn't realise. So he's still serving in the Remig down at Aldershot, coming to the end of his 22 or 24, whatever it is. But it was funny, wasn't it? Because obviously he'd sent in that brutal message, and then there he was, lo and behold.
Yeah. No, and he was a really nice bloke. He put a few quid in the tin as well.
He did, didn't he?
Very welcome.
Always generous.
Yeah,
very
for a
generous.
squaddy, I was shocked.
Yeah, usually tight-fisted bastards, didn't we?
Yeah, no, top bloke. And he's going to stay in touch, he said.
Yeah.
He said he's going to let us know about his experience getting out and his resettlement and all that. So
Yeah, he is, yeah. Yeah, he's sent me a few messages, actually. Yeah, he's loving it. Absolutely loving it.
Yeah.
I didn't realise how ginger he was. Like ginger beard,
yeah, when he walked
ginger
in,
hair.
I nearly said, "Qua."
Yeah. Horrible.
Yeah.
Or obviously, Chizard would have called him Flame.
To be fair, when he walked in, I thought a wet dog had come in because it stunk.
Didn't it?
Yeah.
And that weren't his motorcycle levers
Like a
either,
wet
was
DOS
it?
bag.
Yeah.
Like a public phone box, like a bus stop.
Like an old people's home.
Yeah.
Oh, good bloke that Jay, though, wasn't he? And then obviously we had my sister and brother-in-law come over from France, didn't they, to attend the breakfast?
Oui.
Oui. Mais oui. And yeah, he's Chris, he's he's a former Royal Marines bandsman. Loving the podcast, he says, out in France. He's going to share it with some Royal Marines.
Very nice.
What else we had?
It was my birthday last week, so thank you for.
Oh, yeah, it was, wasn't it? Did you get any decent presents or anything?
I can't even remember, to be fair. Should kill me.
You went to the cinema, didn't
you?
you?
Went to watch Warfare.
And you were stood down the front giving a PowerPoint presentation and all the
yeah.
inaccuracies,
I
weren't you?
was disgusted.
What was the main one you were concerned with?
Well, the fact they had 4.32s as Bradleys, and I just thought, why bother? Like, don't get me, it's a brilliant film. Like, I'll start with the positives. So, the sound effects in the cinema were brilliant. The bullet noises, I've never heard a film like it.
Yeah.
People going about Saving Private Ryan, but the bullets don't sound real to me. They sound like bullets.
Did it take you back to Afghan where you and
No, it took
your
me back-
mates were shooting at that Afghan gentleman from point blank range and missing?
Took me back to Purbright Ranges when I was sat in the butts.
Butts party.
No, but like the crack of the bullet, not just
Yeah.
that noise. They had it like really, and when the bullets were hitting the walls around them, it did remind me of being in that situation.
Yeah.
And it was a good film. Like, I hate to
What was the film?
warfare.
What's it about?
American like recon patrol sort of thing. They're doing an OP and they get basically compromised, and the Iraqis give them a good hiding.
Did they?
Like there's a bit with like, there's a sniper and his rifle's pointing at there's a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
And his rifle is out the wall, and it's just like attention to detail. And the people in the film, the people they're playing were advisors.
Bloody hell.
And
Didn't you say they were like emptying magazines, then dashing them on the floor?
chucking the magazine on the floor. And
You did say they were American, so maybe that's how they did it.
I know the occasional magazine might drop or whatever, but not everyone. And then they call these Bradleys in, and it's 4.32s, and it's just like, and they've like modified them so the back door doesn't open sideways. It's like a ramp, like the Bradleys do.
Yeah.
But they had like DPM Bergens on the side,
Yeah.
which they didn't have in Iraq. You know, after the invasion, people were in camps at night, so you didn't have all the Bergens. And it just really, I don't know, crap.
Pissed you off, didn't it?
It did. It really wound me up.
So did you enjoy the film or not?
I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Did you have any popcorn?
No, not at that price.
Yeah.
No, to be fair, it wasn't even ready because we went lunchtime. Nothing was ready
What do you mean nothing was ready?
because I wanted nachos.
Oh, yeah. Nacho cheese.
Yeah, but when they went, the cheese ain't ready.
All right.
So
Do you know what? I'll be honest with you. So the slowest workers in society work in cinemas behind the kiosk, didn't they?
you know what? She was
horrendous,
so,
isn't
I
it?
felt sorry for her, but she seemed so nervous and quiet. This poor little woman, and I'm deaf, so I couldn't really
Well, you're a
communicate.
big towering bald bloke,
Yeah,
aren't
but
you?
when she told me there's no cheese, I thought, I'm not having it. Someone shitting in the urinals.
Did you? Fair play to you.
Fucking learn them.
Yeah, that will learn them.
But no, it's a good film. Like I say,
How many stars?
4
Oh, that's
out of
decent.
20. No, for the simple fact that they had the actual people that were there were the advisors.
Yeah.
And and it was filmed in Hertfordshire, I believe.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. But no, it's good. It was a good film. I'd say it was the sound effects in the cinema. I don't know about at home, but in the cinema, it was good.
Because what's that Jarhead film?
Yeah.
Like, that was the one about the bomb disposal. The
No.
Yak bomb disposal. No?
No, that was
Hurt Locker.
Hurt Locker, yeah.
Yeah, see, I had to stop watching that film because the guy at the bomb disposal bloke walks out and basically just picks up the daisy chain of IEDs, and it's like, in what world is that happening?
For me, one of the most realistic war films, Dog Soldiers.
Dog Soldier's brilliant, isn't it?
It's so crap, but the way they talk to each other and the crap they come out of it is just funny.
I remember,
Everything's bone.
Because that's about like what
Werewolves.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, that's
and
it,
they're the most crap werewolf. It's just actually a bloke with not even a werewolf. It's like a horse's head with tomato sauce in his face. But
decent.
but then from there, I went to a wedding on Friday.
Go on.
Really interesting. One of my mates, Steve Shine, he lost his leg in Iraq, and he had a wedding. There's about 20 of us there, I'd imagine. Quite a lot of us there, all veterans, all brothers in arms. But I was shocked. So a lot of them come up to me and spoke to me, and people I ain't seen for years, and they just said they really enjoyed the podcast.
Yeah. You said a few people are a bit familiar.
Yeah. Well,
You didn't even know them, and they were like, "I know you."
yeah, you're the podcast man.
Yeah.
My mate's wife.
Got her tits out, asked you to sign them.
No, she didn't. No,
Oh, right.
I was gutted. No, my mate Boydie, he's quite a quiet bloke anyway. He got blown up in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And he told me, because he had a lot of internal injuries.
Yeah.
And he said, when you were talking about your experience, he said that really helped him a lot understand things, and he's not on his own, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, and then his wife came over and she was like saying how much she really enjoys the podcast, and it's helped her understand a lot of things as well. And
Go
then
on.
Steve, whose wedding it was, like he lost his leg, and he should be dead, but it's only because his crew saved him.
Yeah.
This was in a tank, an underbelly IED went for a Challenger 2, took his leg off. He was a driver, and his sister came up to me, and I think she was 18 when it happened.
Yeah.
And she was just saying like she really likes the podcast, just because she likes all the stories, because she can imagine her brother doing the silly things we talk about. But
Drinking his own piss.
yeah, well, I'll tell you what.
Go on, dude.
Because this bloke Steve as well, what a legend. He went to Afghanistan with one leg.
Yeah.
So there's not many amputations. And when I say like one leg, it is above the knee. Like it's only got a little bit of a stump, and it stinks. I fell asleep once on the Isle of Wight. Was on a piss up, and he started rubbing his stump on my face to wake me up, and it smelled like cheese.
Yeah, I bet it does.
Like,
don't you remember I brought that copy of Blesma magazine down to the
How to Wash Your Stump,
breakfast? Yeah, the main centre spread was how to wash your stump in 5 easy steps.
I remember we was in Afghanistan, and because he helped out in the stores, he done everything in camp, looking after us all, and someone was I think he was in the cookhouse, and his RAF bloke's going, "Oh my God, he's only got one leg," and someone said, "Yeah, he lost it the other week," and he lost it a few years before.
Yeah,
but, they're like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, Camp Bastion Hospital was really good." So they stitched him up, put a new leg on, he's right as rain.
Off you go.
Yeah,
crack on, fella.
Yeah. But like top bloke. But anyway, I don't know where I was going with that story. But yeah, his sister said like she really enjoyed it, and I said to her, "Would you like to share your story?" Because she was 18 when it happened, and like she said, when all her mates were out partying, like 18-year-olds do, she was spending every weekend in Birmingham, in a hotel, whatever it was, supporting her brother.
Yeah.
And this is what I said.
Fair play to her. Then.
Yeah, I know. And I said to you earlier, like this is where the families don't get enough recognition.
Yeah.
When you got blown up, it's all about you.
Yeah.
But actually, your parents, your sister, and all that. They're the ones who are suffering as well. And like Steve, I didn't think of it because his sister was saying,
"Can you do me a favour?
Yeah.
You stop banging your hand on the table."
Sorry.
Sorry.
I'll sit on my hands. No, anyway, so Steve, like his sister was saying, he got blown up in Iraq, I think 2006 or 7.
Yeah.
Telic 9. A couple of years later, he's trying to go back out to Afghanistan. His family are, please don't.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I'm going anyway.
Do you know what? We done pranks last week, so I can't remember. It wasn't that long ago because it was the Ukraine-Russia thing had kicked off. Maybe it was in the early days of that. And I don't know if you saw it. There was this like picture of a letter going around like Facebook and social media, and it was like a enlistment letter, like you've been recalled up or whatever to go and fight.
Got to bring your own helmet and body armour.
And that was it. And I downloaded it and sent it to my mum, and it was horrible. She was like that, straight on the phone to me in bits, going, "No, why did I have to ask you?" And I'm like that. Shit, sorry, mum. Like
a bloke I worked with, Chris, he was in the reserves, and his dad was my boss at the time. And Chris was in the office, and Chris sent it to me, and Joe said his name was him. "Steve, have you got one of these as well?" "They're not having my Chris. I'll break his fucking legs."
Oh, quality. We mentioned there about, well, there's a bit of a weak link. We mentioned about Blesman magazine, but who have we just been interviewed prior to recording this?
Soldier Mag.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It was we were well excited, weren't we?
Yeah.
When did we, I can't remember when we found out, but I messaged you, didn't I? I goes, "Guess who wants to interview us?" And we were well excited, weren't we?
We was. No, we had a nice conversation, and they want to share our story, what we're doing.
Yeah. So hopefully, I mean, who's serving? So Stevie Brown up at where is it? Jail. Yeah, get a copy of June's Soldier magazine, and the Muster Point podcast will be in there.
Creasy and Susie, I've mentioned them before. Got like that Porridge. Still got a few. His name's Barraclough. I've still got a few, mate. In fact, I mentioned a story about Porridge a couple of weeks ago, and Porridge got in touch with me and said, "Fuck me, no one's called me that for a long time."
Oh God, yeah. So what else we've been going? What else has been going on? So we're still planning we
went to local VE Day thing yesterday, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we did, didn't we?
Bank Holiday Monday. What a load of shit.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
It was imperative. It wasn't imperative. I felt sad because it obviously cost a bit of money, and
the weather didn't help, but I just don't think there was enough effort put in, was there?
I don't know what
the highlight was meeting my son, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Well, he was a bit familiar, wasn't he?
It was, yeah.
Come straight up, just stuck some sticker on your
and asked me why I'm bald.
Quality. Absolutely quality.
I'll get him back. I'll pin him down and shave his hair off.
Yeah, damn right. He's got a perm, hasn't he? The little scrote. But yeah, we've been... So our VE Day event is this Sunday, the 11th of May, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m, Fairlands Valley Lakes in Stevenage. I don't know what... so we've just been... Obviously, the signed football shirts are up and live for the auction. I'll put a link in. Well, it's all over our Facebook page, isn't it?
Yeah, got some good shirts. Hopefully someone can get a bargain.
Yeah, exactly. Loads on there. Interestingly, so we've got a Spurs signed pennant, haven't we?
We have.
And I was like quite excited because people were bidding on it. And I messaged you. Go on, Steve, share it.
It's my fucking missus. So, and then I I thought, you know what, I'll surprise her. So I'll bid on it again. Because she said, I'm not going above that much money. So I'm like, all right, so I'll bid on it. And then later on, she bid on it again. I said, stop fucking bidding on it.
So basically, you and your missus are having a bidding war over this Spurs pennant.
But if I win it, I'm going to raffle it off again.
Yeah, damn right. I did it. We spoke. So it was interesting. So at the VE Day event yesterday in Stevenage, we spoke to the head of the council and his councillors that were there. And apparently Stevenage is going to have a fly past on Armed Forces Day.
Yeah. You don't know what with, though.
Don't know what with. Drones or do you know that? Do you know those like shit helicopters you get off Temu?
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know.
It's better than nothing, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, exactly.
But he said they've been applying for years and got rejected, but all of a sudden
they've given it the green light.
But the British Legion said today they're not going.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah.
It gets political, doesn't it? That's the thing. Like, I know there's a lot of friction between the council and
Is there?
Yeah, it's horrible.
Fucking
Every year I do the poppy appeal with certain members of the British Legion, and it gets on my nerves hearing about it all, really. You know, I'm not there for politics.
Yeah, exactly. Politics-free zone.
Yeah.
Talking of politics, last week was the local county council elections here in Hertfordshire, well, across the UK, but here in Hertfordshire and Stevenage. So the 6 county councillor seats in Stevenage, 5 of them have been won by Reform candidates. As I said, I'm apolitical. I couldn't really give a shit. I work with any party that's willing to support and engage with me about veterans. So I reached out to them. Not going to give them a chance to settle in. I want action straight away, or conversation at least. So
didn't you say 4 of them were veterans?
Yes.
Or
So 4 of the 5 Reform candidates in Stevenage are veterans. So hopefully we'll get some good engagement. We've got a shout out to Bottle, haven't we?
He's actually sent me a voice note.
Oh, is he?
I'll play his voice note. He was doing a challenge, walking around the Isle of Wight. I believe it was 104 kilometres.
Yeah, it was 104 kilometres.
What a good effort.
Hi, boys. It's Bottle. I didn't complete the 104k. Got to 95k, so almost there, and then had to pull out. Sort of passed out because of dehydration, so I went down like a sack of shit. Gutted I didn't finish it, but proud of the effort. Had to go see the doctor after they pulled me off. They tried to stick a film
Tried to pull him off
because they couldn't get like a temperature or nothing, so it was eventful. But yeah, I got to about 90k at the top of this hill called Culver Down, and I was like having cramps in my stomach. I really should have stopped then, but I thought, no, I can try and do it. And my mate who I was walking with, his foot was all gammy. He was fucked, but yeah, didn't make it, but close enough. So cheers for all of the support and everything. Means a lot. And already planning a 50k in a few months, and I think I'll be doing this again next year to try and see if I can do it. So cheers, boys, anyway. Thank you.
Fair play. And he also said he had to find an alleyway in Sandown and go for an impromptu shit. And after that, he had to have a shit at every checkpoint.
Oh, God.
So his guts were like in clip. He was in clip. But you know what? Fuck me. What a good effort. And
Yeah,
so
he sounds
close.
gutted, doesn't he?
I'm gutted. When he told me, I felt so, not sorry for him, just gutted.
Yeah. But as I said to him, it was 94 kilometres longer than I could have achieved, and 94,990 metres more than you could have achieved.
No, I don't know many people who could do that. So
Yeah.
It's not, doesn't matter how fit you are, that's just a different level, isn't it?
Yeah,
Same
exactly.
as like running a marathon, 26 miles, it's impressive. No matter how fit you are, it takes its toll on your body.
Yeah. But luckily, he got a little present at the end of it, thermometer up the arsehole.
Yeah. He said it was a big one.
Yeah. And he's used to stuff like that. So
Yeah. I like the way he calls himself Bottle now.
brought it back.
No,
Fair play to him. And what I'll do is I'll share the Just Giving page in the notes.
He's raised a lot of money for
Has
Scotties.
he?
So
Well, give him some more.
Yeah, why not? And he's going to do it again next year, he said.
Well, 50 kilometres, he said, didn't he?
No, and then after that, he's going to do the whole thing again.
And Steve did say to me that he's going to do it with your bottle.
In spirit.
In spirit. I would like to. So I'm mourning. My laptop's broken, which, as you know, I'm always on that fucking laptop, emailing people and fucking posting shit. So I feel.
What was it? The buttons were all stuck together.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, I've worn it out, mate. It's fucking Pornhub completed and all that shit. But my missus is happy because she gets fed up with walking in and I'm like that, fucking. But yeah, anything else happened this week that you can think of?
No.
What are we talking about this week?
The most shocking things.
Yeah.
But I've got a load of stuff that people
Specifically what you've seen or just...
Anything.
Anything.
What shocked you? I've got some funny
like
ones.
war stuff or non-war stuff
Anything.
or...
Just your time in the
anything.
forces.
Yeah, yeah. So the icebreaker question this week. This is just for you, Steve, or me. What's the randomest? So what's the most random thing that you've seen on exercise?
Oh, you didn't prep me for this one, did you?
I sent it over to you.
I didn't read it.
All right. That's not my fault, is it?
I'll tell you what. I was on an exercise in 2005. We come back from Germany to do a battle group exercise on Salisbury Plain, and we weren't meant to shit in whole. You know, you're meant to shit in Portaloos. They had strategic Portaloo, and I stood outside one, and this sweet little female doctor, army doctor, walked out, and I walked in, and there was the biggest turd. Didn't think women did turds like that.
Oh dear God!
She hadn't flushed it properly. It was still on the flap, so that shocked me on exercise.
Did you? What? Did you sit down?
I pissed it down.
Oh, I pissed it down. Fair one.
Men are good like that. We're gentlemen, aren't we?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I just needed a helping hand, a bit of piss.
Yeah. Off you go, fella. Yeah. Goodbye. My one was. So do you know in the harbour area on exercises? I think you probably didn't do that since you haven't done one of them since.
No, we used to do a dismounted one every year, or a couple of times a year. So
do you know, like at the three corners, you had your stag point, like shell scrape dug. So I was in the section, and our shell scrape was literally a metre away was a carcass of a dead sheep, which was half intact, it was a rotting corpse, right? And it stank, like absolutely stank. And there's no like, can we move the stag point? Can we not do it or whatever? Obviously there's none of that. So we have to stag on with this fucking sheep's carcass for company.
Flies, didn't it?
And as I said, it stank. And the other thing was at night, so it still had part of an eyeball, and the eyeball would glint in the night, and it's like...
It's like sleeping next to you.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But yeah, it was just rancid, like, oh, God. I could just picture it.
I've got some bits that people have sent me in.
Go on then.
So, Rab's got a question for you, Stu.
Okay.
Have you ever sneezed so hard that your eye come out?
Have I ever sneezed? Nah, not that I can remember. When it gets proper sloppy, and it does sometimes, I'm sure we can all relate to that. Like I can like rub my face, like not my eye, rub my face, and sometimes it'll pop out. So not quite sneezing, but I could like rub my cheek like that for the camera, and it'll fly out, and then I'm like, ah!
Creasy's asked me to mention that the now oldest woman in the world is an English lady called Ethel May Caterham, and she's 150 years old. She's 116 on the 21st of August. She was born 9 years before women were allowed to vote in the good old days.
Have we fact-checked this?
Yeah, I did.
I thought the oldest people were Chinese or Japanese.
No, they died.
Oh, right.
So now this woman's been left with a title. So she lived through 2 world wars, 6 monarchs, and 27 prime ministers.
Nice.
Where
she live?
I'm coming to that.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
fucking jumping ahead, didn't I?
Yeah, so her husband was a lieutenant colonel in the army, in the Pay Corps. And Creasy reckons the reason she lived that long is because she grew up in Tidworth.
Oh,
and he said, what's her secret? Is it the drinking the ram? I said something else. She drinks lots of other stuff if she's in Tidworth. But yeah, he reckons it's the drinking the ram.
Well, fair one.
It's old, but it ain't that old, is it?
It fucking is, mate.
Is it?
Must be so bored as well. Like, all your mates are dead,
Aiken,
like that.
yeah. Probably all your kids are dead as well.
Yeah, it could well be, couldn't it? Like that, fucking kill me now.
Mick Allwood, hardest man in NATO. He said if anyone in the St Helens area wants to be knocked out, get in touch with him.
Fair play.
Yeah.
What, do you know him?
Yeah.
Is he hard?
Fucking double hard.
Is he?
He taught Chuck Norris everything he knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mo, he messaged in and said a Chelsea pensioner called Dave Godwin, who's 73, he run the London Marathon in his scarlet jacket. And he done it in 7 hours.
Yeah.
Fucking unbelievable, isn't it?
Happy days. Fucking hell. Did you see the bloke, the squaddy, or I don't know, well, armed forces, I don't know what brand, what flavour. He done the London Marathon in a gas mask, a respirator. Like, imagine that.
Yeah.
That's fucking horrendous.
It is, and it's fucking stupid.
Yeah. But he done it. I see videos of him, he was covered in sweat.
Yeah, I can imagine you've got salt. Oh, it's fucking horrible. It can't be good for your lungs, either. Like your organs. Surely you're starving yourself of oxygen.
Yeah. But saying that, so we done cold water therapy when I was up at Tom Harrison House. And the guy that done that, apparently he's quite well known on Instagram and all this. So he's, he calls himself a breath master. So he's like, can do all this like relaxing breathing. Anyway, he's in the Guinness Book of World Records. So he done a Ironman. So that's swimming, cycling, running, isn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah. So he done that with only breathing through his nose. So he had to have tape over his mouth, and like it had to be obviously verified. Yeah. But fucking hell, that's horrendous, isn't it?
I remember, I know it's nothing like that, but it's still a good effort. I don't know if it's in Soldier Mag or something. Someone done a BPFA, the mile and a half, backwards. I still beat most people.
Why?
Probably just to prove I'm a PTI. He probably had his vest on.
Yeah, what?
And his Reebok Classics.
Yeah.
They painted them white, didn't they?
Brill cream.
Oh, yeah.
What? Maybe we should do a Guinness Book of World Record. Like
I applied, right? I'll have to find the email. Years ago now. I was going to ride a BMX around a car park with matches stuffed up my nose, lit, and see how far I could get before I stopped. And they rejected it. I had to pay a £5 for that. To apply, you got to...
How old was you?
It was probably about 10 years ago.
Yeah. 10 years ago?
Yeah.
It's not that long. I thought you meant when you was a kid.
Well, I was childish, even more childish 10 years ago than I am now.
Yeah, the only thing I applied for when I was a kid was Jim Will Fix It.
Did he?
Yeah, got turned down.
He preferred sexy kids.
Yeah, missed the bullet there, didn't I?
The other thing I've got in is a voice note from my mate Slokes. And I've been asking him for this for...
Oh, what? Is this the one that you've been
sausage
fucking banging on about?
Yeah.
He sent us in that voice note the other week and he was like eating a packet of crisps.
No.
That
was someone else. Can't remember who it was now.
Okay.
That was Damo, I think.
Oh, was it?
With his bag of crisps, yeah. No, this is Slokes, so pin your ears back.
Right, Steve.
Yeah.
Hello, mate. You asked for it. Story to end all stories. Long story cut short, I was at a barbecue at my house. I just left the army, and my missus brought up her mate who was going out to Matlow at the time, and he was giving it a Barry at my barbecue all evening. I just listened to his gibberish shit dits, and I finally had enough. And I've been watching the Harry Bikers about sausages and barbecue, so you don't prick them. Brilliant, nice. So I proceeded to pull my pants down, stick a Richmond up my rectum, and said, I'm an ex-fucking squaddy, and your talk is boring. Now fuck off. And then the sausage actually split in my rectum. And, I couldn't have a shit for 2 weeks because I'd swallowed it up. Now, I told that to Pete Doherty, and he gave me free backstage passes to the O2 gig, mate. Bang on.
I love people from Devon.
Yeah. Pete Doherty, his old man was a major in the forces, wasn't he? Because
Pete Signals?
I don't know. I'm sure he could have been down at Tidworth as well, because Pete Doherty got kicked off of like persona non gratis and the camp and that. I think, or I could just be making that up, but I don't give a fuck. Yeah,
Slokes is he's a fucking creature, but a lovely bloke. Top bloke.
He puts sausages up his behind, bringing the level of the show down again. But it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Do you know what shall I share this? Fuck it. So this even carried on after I'd left and that, and it's because a lot of the shit that we'd done out on the out on the piss was to sort of like, I don't know, shock civvies, wasn't it? Like, look at me. So I went through a phase of, do you know the old toilet biscuits you get in your vinyls?
Yeah.
I used to like fucking pick them up.
Yeah, piss cubes.
And, piss cubes. And like put them in my mate's pint or like fucking shove them in his face. And he was like, mate, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, very strange.
I remember being in, I think it's Paddles or Puddles in Castle Martin. And me and my mate Skid was in the toilets and he was eating them. And, but he'd been chatting some bird up before that. So he come out the toilets and he started kissing her. And in a Welsh accent, she went like, oh, your breath's very lemony. And he goes, yeah, I've been eating the piss cubes. And she just looked at him and smacked him.
As we're talking about what we've been sent in, so my brother-in-law, Chris, sent me this a few weeks ago, and I keep forgetting to read it out. And he found it on Facebook. So Private Maurice Arthur Newbury. Maurice was from Stevenage, Hertfordshire. He was one of 12 siblings. Before the war, he worked as a shop assistant. He served in the 1st Battalion, the Hertfordshire Regiment, and he fought on the Battle of the Somme and was wounded by shrapnel in July 1916. In 1917, his unit fought in the 3rd Battle of Ypres. He was killed during an attack on the 26th of September 1917. His company sergeant wrote to his wife explaining that he had been killed instantly, and he is buried in Hoog Crater Cemetery. Maurice Newbury was 26 years old. But interestingly, 6 of Maurice's brothers fought in the war, and 2 of them, Bertram and Reginald, were also killed. And obviously it's VE Day coming up. It was interesting because, do you know what, on Remembrance, which I always find quite sad, is when they read out the names of people that have died. And so obviously I live in a village, so there's not that many names, but most of them have the same surname because it's probably like from the same family, and you just think, fucking hell, like, horrible, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
But yeah, go on.
One of the graves I look after, it's a dad and 2 sons.
Yeah.
The dad died in the First World War. The 2 sons died in the Second World War.
Yeah.
And I'll mention them when I'm remembered at some point. But yeah, all in one grave.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Like how, I don't know. I think it's just pertinent at this time of year. Like I don't think we know how lucky we are sometimes. Yeah. Especially the younger generation.
Yeah, well, it's looking on. I've got something. It's for the news, that sort of thing. But there's a bloke called Ken Cook, and he was 18 when he signed up in 1943, and he was with the Green Howards, and he landed on Gold Beach. On D-Day, and he said a comment. It was the everyday German was just like us, really, and they were. Obviously, the Nazis were the Nazis, but the German army were just the normal army. Most of them in the bunkers and just waiting around.
Yeah.
They're just doing their job at the end of the day.
Exactly.
I say you had the SS, them sort of people, nasty people, but most of them probably just sort of got roped into it.
Yeah, exactly. So should we go on to some armed forces and veterans news?
Yeah.
Well, obviously the news is full of the VE Day preparations. I saw a video of the guards and the band. I think the booties were there doing a practice run through at 4 a.m. through the West End of London. Yeah. And it just brought back memories of being fucked around. Like, you got to do this, lads. But imagine, like, the band was playing, like, full belt. You fucking imagine waking up to that.
Well, I sent you a little video. My mate, he does traffic lights, and when there's events like that, they take the traffic lights out.
What does he do to traffic lights?
He does them. Does them long.
Long.
They unplug them and put them on the back of a lorry and wait around until the show's over and then put them back in. But they were sleeping in their vans. So, big shout out to all them boys as well. Like Brett and Chris. All their posse. So
interestingly, it's been mentioned that on the VE Day parade on the 8th through London, some Ukraine soldiers are going to be marching. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, Steve?
I personally don't agree with it.
Yeah.
I'll back Ukraine all day long, but if it's about VE Day...
The end of the Second World War,
then Russia should be invited.
Yeah,
because Russia were
on our side.
Yeah, and they were the reason VE Day happened. Ukraine weren't. They was on the German side.
Yeah.
Although, and I've seen a lot of evidence.
What, first hand?
Someone sent me stuff of a market in Ukraine.
Oh, yeah.
Velcro patches that they're all wearing, and they are Nazi badges.
Yeah.
There's drones with the Luftwaffe badge and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, why are you doing that? You know, I know they probably don't agree with, probably don't realise what they're wearing.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Well, I know part of the reason why Ukraine joined Germany in the Second World War was because they'd put up with Russian oppression.
I get that.
So, and I understand that times change. Do you know what I mean? Like, but as you said, we're like remembering VE Day. But my biggest thing is like, they're fighting a war. Why are they bothering marching in London? Why ain't they fighting the war?
I remember it Sunday, even Armed Forces Day. Invite them along, but my personal thing is not on VE Day. It's not their victory at the end of the day. They lost.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of the Holocaust, a lot of the Ukrainians were involved in the horrible side of that. Well, they weren't a good side, you know. There was a lot of not just Ukraine, that part of Europe. A lot of them got involved with it all.
But as you said, like a lot of those SS command or the blokes that got their hands dirty, it was like, what are you going to do? Oh, I ain't doing that. And I think it's one of them that we'd all like to sit there and say, oh yeah, if somebody told me to go and execute a load of people, I'm going to go no. But if it's at risk of me and my family being,
and you know what, British people are getting dragged into stuff for stuff that happened 500 years ago with regards to the slave trade.
Yeah.
And their names are like, but even Horatio Nelson, he's been dragged into it. You know, his navy. In fact, his navy had escaped slaves were in the British, the Royal Navy. You know, and on Nelson's column, there's pictures and there's black faces on there. So it's bollocks as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, slavery happened, and so did the Holocaust. And why are we not allowed to? I don't think I benefited from the slave trade at all. You know, certain bankers and places like that did, and public schools got funded from stuff like that. I didn't. My family didn't. As all coal miners and greengrocers. You know, there's no benefit there. But I'm not saying we should be dragging up the past all the time, but forget it or drag it. You know, one or the other. You can't.
It's what to me. History's there to teach us lessons and to be learnt from.
Yeah.
And you can't just delete history. Do you know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, you shouldn't dwell on it.
No. But it's like I say, if there's soldiers out there wearing Nazi emblems, then
that shouldn't be on.
It's not right. But like I say, I'll back Ukraine all day long. I'm not saying I shouldn't. I just don't think it's their place on the VE. And there's only about 15 of them, not even that 10 of them. Yeah, they're doing a funny little march.
Well, they haven't marched yet.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
Unless they're going to do it again, I don't know. But
because we've got the VE Day memorial laying of wreaths down in Stevenage Thursday morning, and then we're off to this BBC concert Thursday evening. We've been invited as a veteran or people that do support veterans locally, so we've been invited down to that. I'm gonna bring up the lineup because I haven't told you about it yet. But if you've got crack on, Steve, while I do this.
So there ain't much news, to be fair. You got that what's this new thing the government's announced?
Oh, hold on, I've got fucking loads to say on that.
Yes. No,
I didn't have a rant last week, so I've got it pent up.
I'll leave that for you then. Army Navy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Army lost.
They did, didn't they?
The Navy must be recruiting Fijians.
Yeah, but do you know what I heard about that? So like Twickenham was like half full. Like if that 2/3 full.
Is it 50,000 people there? I think it holds 80,000 or something. I heard a clip, and it was the national anthem, and it was impressive hearing 50,000 people because I bet 95% people sung the national anthem.
Yeah.
Whereas at a football match,
no one does.
No.
Yeah. So here you go. I've got the lineup for this VE Day concert hosted by Zoe Ball.
Right.
So Samantha Barks. No. Fleur East. She was on X Factor. John Newman. I think that's quite a good one. Victor Ray. Freya Ridings. So my guilty pleasure is The Greatest Showman film. And Keela Settle is singing. Do you know This Is Me? I'm not going to sing it, but...
Have a go.
Off The Greatest Showman. I'm not doing it, Steve. Alongside renowned cellist Sheku Kana Mason. That's one. Callum Scott, The Darkness, Top Loader, Tom Walker, and the legendary classical singer Sir Willard White.
I remember The Darkness.
Yeah. And Top Loader. It's Callum Scott's.
Oh, yeah, I do remember him.
And then there's some people from Strictly Come Dancing.
Dancing in the moonlight.
That's it, yeah.
There's a clip on them. Have you ever seen Four Lions?
Oh, yeah, man, that film is fucking brilliant. Rubber Dinghy Rapids, bro.
But there's a clip, they're all like jihadis, and then next clip, they're in the van singing Dancing in the Moonlight.
Yeah, that is brilliant. That film is absolutely brilliant. So this government announcement, so Al Khan's and the Office of Veteran Affairs announced yesterday they're launching Valor with £50 million worth of funding to basically support to support veterans and our needs. And it also comes with they're planning on changing the Armed Forces Covenant or making it more enforceable. And I don't want to be too negative because it is good. It sounds good. The words are good. It's about bringing the charity sector together, about the government taking more responsibilities. They're going to have regional, I can't remember what the word is, regional
hubs.
Well, yeah, regional hubs and regional coordinators.
How far does £50 million go, though?
Well, interestingly, so £50 million works at £25 per veteran. Or if you look at counties in the UK, now not there's probably slightly more than what I'm going to say. So 92, as in Hertfordshire, Herefordshire, like the counties, like actual governed areas, there's probably more of. But that if we go on the fact of 92 counties in the UK, then you're looking at 500 grand per county. So you could argue, is it a lot of money? But to me, and I'm hoping, it's not about providing support as in like, we're going to create a centre for like mental health, PTSD or whatever. It's about bringing the charities together, bringing the existing organisations together, local authority, healthcare, local housing providers together to actually better support. Yeah. And I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I'm all for that. I was on LinkedIn. I wrote one of my LinkedIn articles about it. If you're interested, have a look on there. Just search me on LinkedIn, Stuart Mendelson. I sent an email to Al Khan's raising some questions because it's like, is it going to be a new agency, a completely new separate organisation? Is it going to fit into an existing one already? How's it going to prove its success or failure? Who's it going to report to? How's it like all these local authorities? How's it going to ensure that they stick to their obligations under the covenant? But it's a start. And we'll see where it goes. Yeah. That's all we can do. As I said, I do have questions, but I want to engage with these like our Khans and that.
They need real people. They need the lads who
have been through it.
Yeah, not your lieutenant colonels.
Yeah.
And people like that's what they need.
Well, this is another thing. So I know we've spoken about it before, but my experience was like officers that came out of Sandhurst, like you couldn't breathe near them. Like, for example, things like my troop commander in Afghan ND'd into a group of infanteers, and fortunately no one was hit, but it all kicked off. And then as soon as it was found out that it was an officer that ND'd, it was like, oh, okay. And to me, like officers are so, particularly in the army and the silver spoon you get from Sandhurst, they're so far removed from your Tommy on the ground. I think we need more Tommies on the ground,
100%.
Sort of having input.
Yeah,
like I'm not saying they have to lead them because maybe officers are better at
give feedback and but then they've got your breakfast clubs, your drop-in centres. That's where these politicians need to pop into these places and let's ask what people want.
Well, our local MP's popped in, isn't he? Which is good. And I think, so for example, my understanding of it is that, well, part of this Valor thing is, so for example, the Muster Point Breakfast Club, hub, whatever you want to call it, can be Valor accredited, so that we're part of that system, which, I don't know, I am quietly optimistic, but at the same time, we've heard it too many times before, haven't we? So,
in the day, we've got to give them a chance to do something.
Yeah, exactly.
The last government didn't really get nothing. We've got the ID cards. Cost £4 million. It
just brings you back to fucking old Ian. It comes to the breakfast, and he is turned up, and it's someone else's picture on it. But do you know what? So do you know this massive announcement? Oh, you can use your veterans ID card as ID to vote.
Yeah.
So Ian turns up at the polling station with his veterans ID card, which is a different face to his one, and Mark was with him, I think. And Mark goes, "You're going to accept that? That's not his face." And the polling people still went, "Yeah." So what the fuck? Fuck me.
And I think they're going to do. It's going to be a digital ID, a digital form of ID as well, isn't it? Have you heard that?
Well,
so they want to have digital forms of ID for every type of ID we've got.
Yeah.
Which I don't really get, but it's just another thing to waste money on. At the minute, there's other things the money could be spent on, like giving pensioners a bit more money for their heating.
Yeah.
But anyway, is it MOD 100? I think that's what it's called, the Veterans ID
is it?
card.
I don't know. I ain't got one. Have you got one?
Yeah, I've got two. They sent me two. I only got it because when I do my SEFA work, if you need help, that verifies your service quicker than anything else.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm taking photos of letters, pension stuff, all this sort of stuff. If you've got that, it just speeds it up.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's that's going to be the first form of digital ID.
All right. What, the veterans ID card?
Yeah. Probably because it's...
Is it easy to get? I ain't even looked into it.
I think so. I can't remember when I've done it now, but for me, it wasn't that hard. I think you have to download another app to verify who you are. But for older people, I don't want to say older, but certain people, you can. I downloaded a load of forms, so you can download the forms.
Yeah.
But I think it's 7 or 8 pages.
Joking.
Yeah, because I actually give a bloke some a day. And for the veterans badge, because he didn't have one of them.
Yeah.
So I give him the forms that I download. You can do it all online, but I downloaded the forms.
I don't get it. How can it be 6 pages of documents to fill in to get your veterans ID card? But every year I get a letter from the fucking MOD saying I'm still a reservist.
But I'll tell you, if you download it, it's you download an envelope or a sticker for the envelope, and it's got a free stamp on it.
Oh, well done.
So yeah, download it and then just change the address and send your Christmas cards out.
Nothing like a bit of fraud.
Yeah.
We're not recommending that, by the way, are we, Steve? Yeah, that's all the news I've got.
Yeah, not much really.
It's all about VE Day.
Boring.
So, sort of coming back or moving on to the listener SITREP. So the question we've got for you guys, the listeners, guys and girls, what's the worst or most bizarre thing you've ever seen during your service? So send that in anytime, because we're always happy to go back, aren't we?
Well,
yeah, we like content.
It's funny because that's my dog eating a bone, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gone. Go on.
Yeah, no, it's always funny a couple of weeks later when someone throws a topic from a couple of weeks before, it just opens a conversation up again.
Yeah. So, right, moving on to the main focus of today's show. So, tales from the block and beyond, or things you can't unsee. Unless you bleach your eyeballs out.
Yeah, well, my one. I walked into my mate's skid room once, and he had this room in the blocks in Germany, in Fallibostel.
Yeah.
You had single-man room with a sink, a two-man room with 2 beds, and then you had these other two-man rooms, but they had like a stud wall partition and like a little curtain for a door.
So, and a glory hole.
Well, I walked into the skid room, and I had to walk past the other partition bit, and the smell. And I just thought, fuck me, it stinks of farts in here. Yeah. So I woke Skid up, I said, come and scoff. He went, yeah, guys, them two have been fucking all night. I went, what? The geezer he was roommates with was getting shagged by a Remy bloke.
Was it Jay Hall?
I can't remember his name now, this tanky lad.
Yeah.
He was, to be fair, no one gives a shit if he gave, but he was disgusting about it.
Yeah.
He'd talk about it all the time, like blokes do, I suppose. But the smell was just fucking horrendous. And I said to Skid, like, what the fuck? Like, It's weird. Like you wouldn't do that if there was a bloke and a bird next door. You wouldn't just put up with it. You'd say, fuck off, or you'd leave, wouldn't you?
Or join in.
Yeah. Well, Skid didn't join in.
Yeah.
But he'd listen to it.
That wasn't an option on
all
this
night.
occasion.
These two blokes.
Fucking hell.
But
I'm crying into his pillow.
yeah, and it just stunk of farts.
Oh God! Talking of ones in the block, so I got one. So at RAF Leeming, we all had 1-man rooms, and I must have been. It was I come back off summer leave, and the lad that lived opposite me, Sherm, he every bit of leave he used to get, he used to go out to Thailand because his old man owned a bar out there. So every bit of leave, he'd be like out in Thailand, like literally, whether it was like a week's leave or 2 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever it was. So anyway, I've come back off summer leave. I've settled into my room. I thought, right, let's go knock on some of the lads, see who's back and that. So I knock on Sherm's room. No answer. So no waiting. I just like, right, in we go. And there was like a muffled, "Ooh!" And basically he's got a chair. And he's got one leg up on the chair, and all I can explain to you is he's milking his penis, not pleasuring himself, milking it. So obviously he'd had too much fun in Thailand, so he goes to the med centre, and they couldn't prescribe him antibiotics. They had to send off this goo or whatever for further testing, and it came back that he had 14 different strands of gonorrhea, like. It was like he was there, like hitched his leg up, fucking. It was like milking a cow's udder. It was fucking horrendous.
I had a mate in phase 2 at Bovey, Caruso, who was Blues and Royals.
Yeah,
and he got gonorrhea off his missus, and she blamed it on a toilet seat.
Oh right,
and he went
that old chestnut.
Yeah, and it's I don't know because he's going to the doctors, and he did show me it once. His stuff coming out, and then the nurse I think said to him, "You do realise you can't catch this through toilet seats. It's like you only get it through sexual intercourse." But he believed his missus over the nurse. So
fucking hell, blinkered was he?
Yeah.
But it's like I don't know. It was just I can't unsee it. Fucking horrendous.
Oh, I remember my mate Klein's. He could put his own knob in his mouth.
Fucking fair play.
He had a flexible back. Didn't have a big knob, and I think he could just do it.
Right.
So I got Oh.
What, and you saw it?
Yeah, he's his party trick.
Oh yeah.
In
It
the
would
end,
be, wouldn't it?
Because we said, "I go get your knob out." Go and put it in the end, he's like, "Come on, boys. I'm in the med centre."
To be fair, we had a lad called Donkey, and for obvious reasons, the bloke was like the ugliest bastard you've ever seen. But he had this massive tail, and it was like I don't know, like a Coke can, but like 2 Coke cans together, and it could, oh yeah.
My mate Donna's in the turret of a Challenger 2. I think now they've got the carbines, so they're a lot smaller. But when we had normal rifles, you store them in clips. Like the driver had his in his cab, and the turret crew had theirs. But Donna's stored it the other way around somehow. And when the turret traversed, it just bent the barrel. So his barrel's bent 90 degrees, and that was on I think Midman on exercise in Canada. So he had to carry his rifle around with a bent barrel the whole exercise.
Quality.
But yeah. Most shocking thing for me was it's a nasty one. Is when we got to Afghanistan after a couple of weeks, the first patrol. I think I was in 3 troop. 1 troop went out on patrol first.
Yeah.
First casualty was the medic. I think he stepped out the back of a wagon, and I don't think he set the IED off. But it went off, and his face was all right. It looked like you know.
Look like me?
No, not now.
What, now? Fucking hell, mate.
It looked like a pizza. And I went to see him in Bastion Hospital, and it was just horrible. He wasn't blind though. He didn't lose his eyesight. I don't know how. Probably blinked.
Yeah.
But it was just, to be fair, it probably weren't as bad as it looked, because it was probably all bits of stones and but it looked like a pizza. But it was like, oh my God, if the medic's getting blown up first, what am I walking into? But top bloke. But the funny thing is, he got blown up so early in the tour that he never even got a picture in his deserts. So like we had a squadron video and it had pictures of everyone, and his was in greens. But really nice bloke.
Yeah. What's he like? Are you still in contact with him?
No, I haven't seen him for years. I think because he literally the first couple of weeks of tour. We never see him again after that. I think by the time he'd recovered, he'd been posted. Yeah. So it's sad.
Yeah. So I've got a few written down here from my time in Afghan, and there was one. So basically, I think we were putting in a bridge over the Nahi Bugra Canal. Was that what it was called?
Shalaman or something. Shamanan.
We were putting a bridge over that. And basically, one side you had green zone, then the other side was out into the desert. And I remember this this Afghan local walking a donkey along, and there was like a dead child on the back of it, and it wasn't gruesome. It was like there was no blood. It was just I think your reaction there, it was just like, it's weird, like the body's flopping. You could tell it's like it's a body, but it's dead. It's like flopping around and it's like, like just, I don't know, a cold feeling, I guess. Pretty, not nice.
Nah.
I've got...
That's just put a complete...
Sorry. Like,
something else that shocked me in Afghanistan was when you see watermelons growing everywhere. Did you ever see that?
I didn't see that.
Oh, some rivers, there'd just be watermelons growing, massive watermelons.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
And you get told, don't eat too many because it gives you the shits. When you're sick of rations and it's boiling hot, and all you got is curry for dinner every day, a nice watermelon or two.
Yeah,
nice, but you
up.
end up shitting yourself.
Yeah, I bet you do. Like, you've just brought one back. So, again, I think it could have been on the same bridge we were building. Which was I think it was a 21 bay LSB. We had a big.
I like them ones.
Yeah.
Nice ones.
So it took us a couple of days because we were building sangers as well, like proper job. And as I said, so one side of the bank was out into the desert, and out of nowhere, this like it's a caravan, isn't it? So like camels with like basically they're like nomads. But
they tie their legs together, didn't they? Did they do that?
They could. I don't know. Basically, this like train of camels with like things on their backs. Some people riding them. Like, and I mean, there must have been about 20 of them. Yeah. Come down, and it's like, what the fuck? And then about, I don't know, maybe half hour later, they've obviously gone down and crossed the canal, and then come back up, and in the field right next to where we were building this bridge, they've like opened up these tents. It was like something off Indiana Jones or something, and it's like. Wow.
I never see camels in Afghanistan, I don't think. I see them in Iraq.
Okay.
Bedouin men, they was called.
Yeah, well, it was,
same sort of
it was
thing.
that. It must
and they just go from city to city selling camels.
Yeah.
But I remember they had like their legs not tied tight, so they couldn't run.
Okay. I didn't notice that.
And they was tooled up as well. I remember they had like machine gun, not AK-47s. They was like PKMs.
Oh, right.
Because they was worth a lot of money.
But it was just remember, like, but it was the way that, like, they just set up this almost like this little town, like with tents and all that. And
Such a simple life, isn't it?
Exactly.
Until the Brits and the Americans rocked up.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I remember once we was on the first time we went to Iraq, we used to do these like long range desert patrols for a few days, and you go down to I don't know, Saudi Arabia or Jordan or something. I don't know when it was, but you drive a couple of days in the desert and see nothing. And we was in this crater on Earth one night, like a hide, and I think it was me and Ginge, my mate Fox Piss. We was on stag one night and we could just hear something. What's that? And it was a kid on a bike going across. We just drove for 2 days without seeing anyone. And the kid went past on a bike in the desert, like really fine powdered sand. He's riding on a bike.
Yeah.
And
what, a push bike or a motorbike?
A push bike.
A push bike.
Yeah. And it's just like, what the fuck? Weird.
But it's like, I think I shared before. Do you know, like when you've done acclimatisation at Bastion and you used to go out and do that little range package?
Yeah.
And it'd be like, right, time to collect the brass. But then out of nowhere, like the sand people would come, and it's like, where the fuck is mad? I'll share. Well, I've got a couple of like fun ones. Well, more fun, and then I'll share my horror story. So me and do you remember the old javelins? So
from the Roman days,
from the Olympics, yeah. Like the old javelin missile. So the infantry had fired one or something, and it hadn't gone off. And basically, they'd requested me and my mate Budgie to go and dem it up and deny it. And we thought, what an opportunity to put far too much explosives on this javelin. And I remember there was a video of it, of Budgie like that, because it's like 70 grand, isn't it, a javelin?
Yeah.
But Budgie was like, 70 grand's worth of explosion. And then we press the button and this fucking goes boom. And this crater it left must have been about 15 metres in diameter and probably 10 metres deep. And it's like, wow. Like, you don't get to do that in Sydney Street.
You know what? Like, we weren't engineers, but a couple of the boys got taught, I don't know if it's by the pioneers or the engineers, how to blow stuff up with bar mines. Yeah. And allegedly, one of my mates thought he'd blow some fish up in the river.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
And the boss was like, fuck it, only use a little bit of this. And this, my mate said, no, I can assure you that this is only a little bit. And he fucking blew this thing up. He was like, fuck it. I think people down, like, we was in OPs. Other OPs were radioing in contacts, all sorts of stuff. That allegedly happened, though.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because this was the thing. Obviously, explosives, PE4 and that was part and parcel of being an engineer. And I remember being out on patrol with the infantry and I'd have all my explosives on my back. And then I remember one occasion, something like one of the infantry sections were going to stay and hold this position and we were going to keep patrolling. And the boss was like, right, give them a stick of or half a bar mine, just in case for whatever reason. And the infantry were all like, yeah, I'll have it. And it's like, fuck, I couldn't wait to get rid of it. Out of me, but like, fucking have it, mate, have it. All right.
Would they go off if you shot them?
Nah.
That's what, first time I see them, I was shitting myself.
Yeah.
Is it C4?
PE4, plastic explosive number 4.
Yeah, and I was fucking shitting myself. But the engineers treat it like a Twix.
Yeah.
Just cut it in half with a saw. And it's mad.
That's it, because we had, so you either had what was it called? Was it a handbag? Or I could be, basically it was a book. It looked like a book. So you had a book. It would open up and you'd have, I think, maybe 3 sticks down each side. Or we'd have the bar mine, which was maybe as wide as this table, and then we'd cut it in half, and then you'd have to put your initiator in and all this, get them ready. So then when they're needed, you just do the final connection, and then off you go. But yeah, as I said, because there was that on that patrol, we were like fucking. So as an emo team, you'd always be in the HQ element with the platoon commander, and if he needed you, you'd have to run up. But we were under contact, and I remember being stuck in this ditch, like getting your head down, like thinking, fucking hell. And I think I've probably shared it before, like the infantry bosses turned round and that and gone, right, Stu, we're going to break this cover, 100 metres open ground, under contact, into that tree line there. And I'm like, you do realise I'm carrying the best part of 50 kilos of explosives on my back. And he's gone, yeah, just crack on with it. I'm like, all right, sound. And Rocco, my wingman, 19 stones worth of Fijian muscle. I've turned to him and he's gone, yeah, no problem, Stu. And it weren't about worrying about being shot or something in the back or whatever. It was more about the weight rather than anything else. But yeah, fucking throw it around, do what you want with it.
You talking about initiators?
Oh yeah.
Pud sent me
go on.
a voice note I'd like to play.
Alcohol stories for. Well, this is probably up there with probably the worst thing I've ever had to do in my life. So obviously, as you mentioned in previous episodes, mate, about obviously people have.
Obviously, I've mentioned initiator, like as in blowing stuff up. This is initiation. It just reminded me.
All right.
To do initiations or engineering. So mine took place on we had a couple of families days where obviously people would come up to our camp.
Do you remember this?
At Lehman and
I remember family
do some,
days.
stands and show them what we do, which isn't a lot really. But yeah, we were doing that on the Saturday, and the badge literally walked round, and the sergeant major walked round, and he said, "Right, lads, it's about 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. I've had enough of this now. Go and see your families." So he shut up shop. And obviously a lot of the lads weren't going to go home for the weekend or anything like that, because obviously it was the Saturday. So it was a very rare occasion where most of the lads were in the block. And then, of course, my full screw, a true legend of the Corps, I won't give his name away, but Pogo.
Yeah, he is.
For many a reason. Decided to shout out engineering for the Sprogs.
For the family
so
day.
It was me and one other. And we basically, they brought out a chair very similar to you, stripped me down to my pants. I didn't get naked because obviously there was families around. But I can remember I had to stand on the chair, sing the Corps song, and then they brought out a lovely protein pot. So like one of them like 2.5 kilo pots. And I think the flavour was chocolate. I can't remember. Anyway, So in this protein pot, as you can imagine, every alcoholic drink known to man, beer, wine, lager, Guinness, whiskey, vodka, and it was filled to the brim. And there was like a chocolate foam at the top of the thing, so you couldn't see what was in there. But also there was some nasties in there. I think I was told there was obviously piss, E45 cream, you name it. I think it was pubes, greenies. Yeah, not the nicest of concoctions, but obviously I was told about engineering. You don't back down. You want to become one of the lads. So basically, I'm stood on this fucking chair. Pogo brings out this concoction of a mess, and he goes to me. He said, "Wellard, get it down, yeah. Don't let me down, and I'll let you know when I want you to stop." I said, "Roger that." So I start necking this drink. I take it I sip it like it's like a glass of wine just to get the initial, see what it tastes like. And it actually wasn't that bad, to be fair, which is, yeah, fucked up. So then he goes, "Right, fucking go for it." So I go
Weirdo,
for it,
isn't he?
get it down my neck, and I'm going for it. I'm chugging it. But obviously I mentioned about this foam on top of in the pot. You couldn't see what was in there. And I've gone for it, and a shit has hit the end of my nose, and I have fucking spewed everywhere. And he said, "Don't fucking spill it." So I'm spew inside this pot. And then he said, "Fucking hell, you've topped it up. You got to go again." So I'm fucking going again. I get about halfway down, and it is horrendous. Then this the newer sprog to me comes in and basically has to finish the drink.
The dregs, the rough stuff.
So I'm fucking off the chair, fucking urging, fucking piss, shit, alcohol all over me, fucking looking a right mess. He finishes this drink like it's a fucking pina colada. I've never seen anything like it. He then grabs the turd at the bottom of the pot, bites the end of it, and fucking starts chasing the lads around the block. Bear in mind, as I mentioned, it was Family's Day, so we had about 40, 50 parents watching me do this engineering. Fuck me. Next
Kids
day,
and all sorts, yeah.
on about punishments. Me and this sprog, because obviously we didn't grass who gave us the drink. We got the fucking thrashing of our lives, flipping tyres. Then the badge took, the sergeant major took it, and to finish it off, Pogo went to me. He said, "Wellard, you're not allowed to have a shower. Sorry if Mrs. Wellard is listening. Your next challenge is to go into the sportsman's bar and try and trap off
Yeah, I remember that.
in this fucking state." So I was like, right. So anyway, go in, I get some clobber on. I've got it's like dried, crusty chocolate all over my chest. It's fucking horrible. I'm stinking. I'm pissed. So anyway, we all go up to the sports bar. Beers are flowing. And of course, we were on a RAF campsite, and there's a few maids up there. Well, can you call them maids? Well, the lads are fitter than they are, put it that way. So anyway, I go try my luck, and I'm there whining and dining this lovely lady, and I'm thinking, hang on a minute, if I've got a chance in this state, fuck me. So anyway, I go in to lean in for a bit of a smooch with this maid, and she pulls away, and she turns around, she said, "Fucking hell, what are you wearing? Odorless shit." And I was stinking of shit and piss. Oh, mate, that wasn't the best of nights, to be fair. It turned into a fucking cracking night, but yeah, I did the engineering. Pogo come and see me a few days later, and he said, "Well, that's probably one of the worst ones I've ever done."
Yeah.
Fair fucking play. But then that's when it came out about these initiations, about how bad they were getting. This is when it started changing in the military terms. Throughout people's career, you couldn't really do it anymore. It was frowned upon.
I think it
But
was
we still
always
did it,
frowned
obviously,
upon.
behind closed doors. Yeah, I've heard of a few horror stories of the engineering, but yeah, that is something that's definitely going to stay in my mind for many a year. And Pogo, if you are listening to the podcast, you absolute legend. Cheers for that. And yeah, over and out.
See, I remember that engineering where the lad, like basically bit this turd in half and started chasing everyone round with it. I didn't realise for all these years that Tom was the person that first started drinking that. Wow, that's horrible. That
It's bad.
That's across the line. I think making people eat human feces.
Some people are into it, don't they?
Well, obviously this other lad was. I know his name as well. I ain't gonna mention it. Fucking Family's Day as well, just to add insult to injury. But yeah, cheers for that, Tom. Pud, the man that goes to the naffy and eats 2 puddings every time. Another Gucci thing I saw in Afghan, it was probably the most fucking... It gave me a hard-on. Again, out on patrol as part of the emo team with the infantry. And the infantry sections were out under contact. And we had a US Marine Corps Junior Tactical Air Commander with us. So the boss had obviously requested some fast air to come in. And the JTAC, in his American accent, he's like, fast air inbound in 5, 4. Terrible at accents, mate. And out of nowhere, this A-10 bomber falls out of the fucking sky, right? And it was that low to the ground, you could almost touch it. I mean, it wasn't, but it's got to have been probably under 1,000 feet, I don't know. But this thing's just fallen out of the sky, basically put its tail down, afterburners on, and barrel rolled out. And we were just like, what the fuck? That is amazing.
Did it fire its Gatling gun?
No, it didn't. It didn't on this occasion. But that's another one, isn't it? That.
Yeah. So it's just not... I don't know, it's a weird sound, isn't it? It's like War of the Worlds sort of.
Because the A-10 was designed around the gun.
Yeah.
It was like, here's the gun, now design a plane around it.
In Iraq on Telic 10, they got the phalanx guns, what they have on ships, the Gatling guns.
Yeah.
Similar sort of gun as they, but they were scattered around Basra Airport and they used to shoot the rockets and mortars at the sky. And again, it didn't sound like a gun.
Yeah.
It was a weird noise.
Yeah, brilliant, wasn't it? But yeah, I mean, this didn't fire its gun. It was just the way this guy's giving a countdown, and it's
Was that like a show of force?
Yeah.
Funny if that warfare film, they do that a few times. They get a plane to fly just above the roofs. And I was in a riot in Basra once, and they did that. They got I think it was a tornado to fly.
Yeah.
It just stopped the riot dead.
Yeah.
It's just such a
this
show of force.
For me, there was only one occasion where I see fast air drop anything. Most of the time, like just the threat was enough for the Taliban to get their heads down. But the occasion that it was, and typical, it was the Americans. So they'd out on the outer... I can't remember what we were doing, but there was an outer cordon and suddenly they'd taken a casualty, the infantry, and the Pedro had come in, picked up the casualty, and as it was flying off, some Taliban on the ground were trying to were taking pot shots at it. And in the typical American fashion, they were like, we ain't fucking having that. So they flew in, I don't know, one of their F-15s or whatever it was, and dropped a 1,000-pound bomb on this position. And this mushroom cloud was like, that's brilliant. Probably to take out 2 Taliban fighters.
We had it a lot. We went out into the desert and we were doing Overwatch for the convoys going up north to Sangin and all in places. We were just out in the desert and there was mountains or big hills. And we get contacted in there and we just get fast air in and then just drop bombs and just blow the fuck out of the mountains.
Fucking brilliant.
It was impressive.
So yeah, the grimmest thing, which stays with me from my time in Afghanistan, and so this incident was probably worse than me getting blown up, because I think there's that thing, because it was me getting blown up and I'm in it. It's easier to process, whereas when you're Kazivacking lads or you're involved in stuff which is sort of outside of your control or not affecting you personally, as in like you're the injured person, it's I don't know, I find it harder to, I think it's harder to process maybe, I don't know. But we've gone out with me and Bri Tucker went out to recce this compound the infantry wanted to fucking fortify and all that. And we've gone out and we're with that Afghan Tiger team, is it? The Afghan Special Forces or whatever, and we're in the lead section with them, and it come over. Well, first of all, the ground puffed up around me, and I was like, check me bollocks and arse and that, and I thought, fucking hell, bro, I've been lucky here. Then obviously all hell breaks loose, and it's over the net that fucking the supports, one of the support sections had taken 2 IED casualties for their lead men, and so the Tiger team had their SF bloke embedded with them, like their sort of section commander, whatever. So he's like double back, and we had Lindsay, this 5'0" medic with us, and he's gone, right, you two get that fucking medic on me. So we've like fucking started running to like, I think they were about maybe 200 metres away, contact coming in, running towards them or where the casualties were. And you know what the irrigation ditches were like in Afghan. And Lindsay's like 5'0". She's got all her med kit on her back. So me and Bri are like throwing her over and all this sort of thing. And get Lindsay to the casualties. She turns into Wonder Woman, starts fucking doing what she's got to do. And we go out in extended line, fucking... The interpreter's going, oh, fucking, as soon as they move the casualties, it's like they're saying that they're going to bounce us and all this. And then it's like, right, engineer, because I've got my Valon with me, so I'm up fucking clearing a possible heli landing pad. And then it comes over the net that another section had patrolled out and they'd cleared one, maybe another 100 metres down or something like that. So I'll go over to Lindsay. Oh, do you need that hand with anything? She's like, yeah, we're about to move them. So it's the old poncho sort of stretcher and that. And I remember just looking, and I still can't comprehend it because it's one of them things that I don't think the human mind is like used to. Well, you're not used to seeing, but it's like not designed to see. And I remember like Kazi vacking them to where the heli was coming in, and I think this was the patrol that I said I had the guy's head on my lap and fucking covering him with the shade from the sun, covering him from the sun's gaze and that, sorry. And then the Apaches come, then the Chinook comes, load him on, and off we go. And it's like, so obviously they've lost their two lead men. So they're like, right, engineer, fucking get us the fuck out of here, Barmer and that. So I'm off fucking... Like rounds are coming in, and it's like, right, drills and skills, fucking bread and butter, innit, Barmer, for the engineers. And to the point where the fucking infantry section commanders go, Stu, like, you need to slow down, mate. We can't keep up. And I'm like, have a fucking word for yourself. Like, we need to go. And I'm barmering, and fucking the fucking Valon goes, like, lights up with that horrible fucking screeching sound. So I'm like that, fucking Valon down, fucking on my belt buckle, fucking bayonet out, prodding, and he's like, section commander's going, Stu, we've just come up from this way, like, what the fuck you doing? And I'm like, mate, like, I'm not fucking, like, this is what you do when it goes off. And he's got to just mark it and we'll box around it. So we box around it and fucking, you remember, like, the lead men are supposed to not have much kit on.
Yeah.
Like, lightweight, so you can focus. I've got all my fucking explosives on my back, hanging the fuck out of my arse. And the section commander's obviously picked up on this. He's got, Stu, like, you look fucked. And he's gone to one of his lads, right, can you take over and that? And this fucking Grand Guard's gone, I ain't fucking doing that. I've just seen so-and-so get blown up. And I'm like, don't worry about it, mate. Fucking don't worry about it. But we got back to the patrol base, and like it was harrowing because, like, we're all in the fucking irrigation ditches cleaning blood off us, and, like, no one's saying a word. It's fucking, like, just... I don't know, unless you've been there, I guess it's hard to explain. And I had to go up to Lindsay, the medic, and I said to her, like, those lads had no legs, did they? And she was like, nah. Because it's like, I knew they didn't.
Yeah.
But I couldn't, I still now, I can't comprehend what I saw. Yeah. And, I mean, fortunately, like, they got Kazivac back to Bastion quite quick, and, like, they survived. I mean, they had to be amputated, but it was just that, I remember just being like, they didn't have any legs, did they? And she's like, no. And it's like, oh, fucking horrible. And just for the benefit of others. So when I come out, for years after, I remember this story. And I had no one to, obviously the way I came out and I was straight into Civvy Street, I had no one to confirm it. So I'd like tell my civvy mates and tell the story in my head, and I'd be like, nah, that never happened. Like, that can't have happened. It's like fucking saying, like, off a film. And it was years after Army Navy, funny enough, I see Bri Tucker, and I said, I need to talk to you about the events of that day. And me and him ended up in tears together. And obviously he was a stripey at the time, and I think he could still be in as a WO, I don't know. But he turned around and said he'd never thought about it like the way I told it. because obviously when you stay in, it's like, what's next, and you sort of keep going, don't you? Whereas I'd like come out and it's like that guilt or shame that I had of, am I telling the truth or am I making this up? And when I heard him say, yeah, that is exactly what happened, Stu, it was like such I didn't make it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Bryce said if it weren't for the fact that he was like, what's next, and he was in that system, he'd never, as I said, he was in tears just as much as me, and I think that's the thing, innit? Like, there are so many stories and it affects people differently, and it wasn't so much for me that what happened, it was more, I couldn't, it was like I was beating myself up because thinking, am I lying here?
Yeah, it's just seeing things mutilated, humans mutilated. It's hard to process, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the smells as well. I don't know about you with the smell.
I can't remember the smell, you know.
I've had it before, especially in Iraq, where it was a lot hotter than Afghanistan. And like the Warriors, for instance, we'd have bits of body still left in there, the smell of blood. And then like butchers, sometimes you go to butchers and the same smell. And it don't freak me out, I think, but it does take me back there, if you know what I mean. And I've been fishing before, and I like me fishing, and the smell of maggots, sometimes that smells like dead bodies to me. It's, not nice.
But yeah, I mean, if you're struggling with anything like that, even if you think it's insignificant, like reach out to someone, reach out to us, because the brain works in different ways.
Yeah, I think it's good to talk about things, isn't it? Even if you want to send us an anonymous message, text, voice note, whatever, might help you.
Yeah. Sound.
But it's not abnormal, is it? That's the thing.
Nah. You're not alone.
No, it's normal to feel that way.
Yeah. That was our frontline focus. So more listeners SITREP that's come in, Steve.
Right, I'm going to get the nasty stuff out. There's only one really, and it's fucking grim. But I thought while we just spoke about all the grim shit, we'll get all that out of the way. So I'm not going to say his name. One of my mates, the most shocking thing is he see a dead lad, British soldier, with his waist down, missing.
Oh. Still alive or
no? He was dead.
Because some of them lost from the dick down, didn't they?
I remember seeing a body, and the bloke, I thought he was dead. Yeah. Didn't have any, nothing. His hip was gone. You know, like from his belly button down was gone, and he survived.
Yeah. I've had a few of them stories.
And I'm not. You can only really say that. Bastion Hospital, which was unbelievable, and them helicopter crews. I wouldn't know where to start with someone like that, really.
You were at Sankey, so
first field dressing. Right, anyway, so he also, like, shocking things he see was a broken helmet split in 4 pieces, legs and body armour scattered all across the ground.
Yeah.
And he see a dog eating something, and when he looked closer, it was this soldier who'd been blown apart as his fingers.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
Have you got any lighter ones?
Davy P.
All right.
Pete Albrook becoming a sergeant major. Most shocking thing you see.
That's a good one.
Ginge. Scatman, who was a lad in my squadron, eating spunk and fag butts out of an ashtray.
For fun.
Yeah. Man test.
Yeah.
Bingo. He said he was on a public order incident in Iraq, which was fairly common, and they was made to take the baton guns out, but was specifically told to leave the rounds back at camp by the troop leader. Okay. For whatever reason. The same troop leader wouldn't even get out of his vehicle. Then there was Kev Wilson. On the same day, left his rifle on the bonnet.
Is that Wilco?
No.
Oh.
Kev Wilson. Oh. On the same day, left his rifle on the bonnet of a snatch when it drove off. And it fell in the road and the warrior ran it over.
Yeah.
But he still had to carry it, even though it was as straight as Keir Starmer. Mate, Bill, he... witnessed Dave Cook sticking his own cock up his own arse.
Nice.
In a shower in Batters.
Erect or hard? Erect or soft?
Fucking erect.
Well, it might have been as bent as your mate's rifle.
Yeah. Also, Rob Clark, who he messaged in it, he's a teacher, and he sent, this is early on.
Steady. Go on.
No, he sent us some instructions, a website or whatever.
Yeah.
An organisation that can help people become a teacher. But anyway, Rob Clark took a shamuli to the face.
Fucking hell.
In Battus, and it got lodged in between his helmet and his face.
Oh. Did the parachute come out?
I don't even know. But it was like his face was on fire, but once it all stopped, he was fine. Not a mark on it, but he was ginger.
Yeah, so you wouldn't have noticed.
They're
would you?
fireproof.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Feggy, right. It's a long one.
Here we go.
The creature. So, Feggy, right, this is what he sent in. Well, I can remember going on Radio Stag on the squadron leader's tank. I was taken over from another operator. Operator's a loader in the tank. No names. But when I opened the loader's hatch, I witnessed him with his trousers round his ankles, gun elevated, and a porn mag resting on top of the breech. Readers' wives, in brackets.
Yeah.
The shock of me,
Good choice.
the shock of me opening the hatch made him jump. Then it appeared he had wedged a tin of composed sausages, warmed up in the breech. Yeah, warmed up in brackets. He put them in the breech with a couple of sausages missing. He was only shagging the tin of composed sausages. I was reading Readers' Wives. He said,
Legend.
if you tell anyone, I'll kick your fucking head in. The Squadron Knew by Ravelli.
Of course they did.
Another story that involves a bit of Harry Monk. When I was a young corporal tank commander, we had a tosser of a squadron leader. Once again, no names. He used to rag us to death. We would sit in a leaguer and he would just rattle on over the radio, ridiculing all the commanders. And he had a habit of licking his hanky and cleaning his glasses. Guess what? When I was on Radio Stag in his tank, I was armed with my copy of Reader's Wives, halfway through and very close to vinegar stroke. I looked around for some rag. Bonus, hanging out of the commander's grenade box was his said hanky. Yep, you guessed it. All produced man fat was deposited into the said hanky. God, I piss myself every time I see him licking his hanky to wipe his glasses. He must have had the taste of my man fat on his lips the whole exercise.
Salty. Ugh.
T-Rex got involved.
Has he?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. He don't message me anymore now.
No, he's my mate now.
Yeah.
For the sappers amongst us, the chef at Jib Barracks, rumour has it there was a lot of money in the pot for anyone who dared to have a go. She was a proper minger, more facial hair than Mendo. And he said the soup was extra thin due to the amount of sweat that dripped in it. Nothing can beat that, mate.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
That's grim, isn't
It
it?
is grim. Les, he said, the most shocking thing he witnessed was he had a friend, a female friend, and her name, we used to call her Monkey Cunt because she was an ex-military copper.
Yeah.
And her sons were away on a camp or something, and I slept in her son's bed but pissed it. So throughout the night, I went downstairs and slept on the sofa and pissed that as well. And then in the morning, we nicked the microwave. I don't really remember it, but that's what he said.
But you were there, were you?
I was the one who did it. No, I pissed the sofa.
right.
I pissed the kid's bed, then the sofa.
Fucking hell, yeah. You nasty bastard.
I'm
didn't
sorry,
You?
monkey cunt. Susie, he said, I think I've mentioned this before, Beck's the Fijian, taking 2 tasers from the police outside Gringos in Battus and still trying to end people's lives.
Yeah. That wouldn't touch the sides with a Fijian, would it?
And he weren't even one of the big ones. Yeah. But, like, Dog, being asked to go and get Sergeant Duddy up. He didn't show up for work after a footy night out, so knowing where his mess room was, I went round the back and banged on his window. He opened the curtains, bollock naked, covered in shit.
Fucking hell.
Must have been a dodgy pint that upset his stomach. The bloke was still pissed at the time. I saw him as a grown-up on the same level as my parents. And he said, all aircraft trades have nicknames. I was an airframe tech. We was known as riggers. Electricians were known as dog fuckers.
Ugh.
And the rumour was a flight sergeant was having a night out with his wife, so he volunteered one of his lads to come round and babysit for him. When they got home, they found a young electrician at one end of the dog. And the things that shocked him were the pound coins down the foreskin thing.
Fucking hell.
Made my eyes widen for the first time.
You shared that the other
Yeah, as
last
Euros.
week. Oh, Euros.
Yeah.
All right, different incident.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just a clarification on that.
He said his mate used to piss the bed if he drank Stella. Always had a mattress on the fire escape drying out.
Yeah. I had a mate like that. Yeah. Just like I couldn't help it.
Yeah, I had a mate and his wife used to do it.
Oh, imagine being in that bed.
Oh, fucking hell. And he said he'd been seeing a bird, and the first time he took her back to his block, he'd been drinking Stella. 20 years later, they're still married. She even helped him strip the bed and get the mattress on the fire escape. My mate Matt Adoc, he said the things that shocked him, pad shagging, was rife. And he said the senior ranks were the worst for it.
Fucking hell, there seems to be a running theme in the tank regiment.
It was bad.
Was it?
Yeah, it was horrible, to be fair. And like you say, the senior ranks, welfare officer, people like that.
Fuck.
In fact, the other day I was at that wedding, and one of my mates, I won't say any names, another lad had shagged another bloke's wife. So one of the blokes who was at the wedding banged him out.
Yeah. Oh,
And
what, at the weekend?
No, this was
right,
when he was in the army. He'd done about, I don't know, 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
He signed off and he got dishonourably discharged for punching that bloke who'd been shagging someone's wife.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. So that means you lose your pension.
Yeah,
And he got community service because he'd signed off. They give him 120 hours community service. It's fucking wrong.
I remember, the only time I remember, this lad turned up, literally got posted in, got caught pad shagging, and literally the next day he was posted out.
Yeah.
Like, see you later.
See, they couldn't really do that with us. So that's the thing. With like
Yeah,
the
true,
Reamy,
yeah,
they would, they just move you on, but you can't really.
Yeah.
Don't like, what they tended to do in my regiment, if that happened to you, you got posted to Bobby or something, they'd send you on a Mickey Mouse for posting to get you out of the way, and you think that just makes it worse.
Yeah.
But
Victim blaming.
yeah, so the most shocking thing I heard, he said in brackets, I don't know if you want to repeat this, when I was in phase, because he was in the Pioneers and he transferred to 2RTR. So when he had to go and do phase 2 again, and before I transferred to 2RTR, I'd done phase 2 again, and he said he shared a room who'd been in phase 2 for ages. He'd been backtrooped and ended up on his course. After a few months prior to this, he kept waking up with really bad headaches and back pain. He went sick with it anyway, and later transpired that his old roommate, a big ass Fijian, was putting chloroform on his pillow at night.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, he'd wait till he was out of it, use shampoo as lube, and bum him till he was satisfied. Obviously, he'd wake up not knowing anything and wondering why he had a headache and was farting bubbles. That's what I heard anyway.
That's an urban legend, because I've fucking heard ones like that. It's like the old story where a bloke brings back a bird from town in the block and's going through her, and then the fucking sergeant major walks in and goes, "I'll have a go," joins in, and then the light comes on and it's his daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure I heard that chloroform and bubbles one.
It's funny, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely funny.
Do you know what's
well,
amazing?
not unless you're the bloke that it happened
Why
to.
don't Fijians shower naked? Did you ever notice? They always have their pants on.
Yeah, same as Gurkhas as well.
They do it. Yeah, strange. We have to put that out there.
Yeah.
If there's any Gurkhas or Fijians, why'd you wear your pants in the shower?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, after the football the other week, a lot of your tank regiment didn't like getting in that cold water. I was like that, hosing them all down.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Right, Sleechy sent us in a voice note.
Sleechy. He's becoming a regular, isn't he?
Yeah, good old Sleechy.
All right, lads. Stu, Steve Chizzard, how's it going? Sleechy here, radio check over. Just listened to the last episode. Absolute quality, lads. Pissed myself through that as well, funny. But you was on about punishments and pranks and general fucking about. And, well, I've got a good one. This is when I was a screw at ITC Cattrick again, and there was a mess function on. I think it was the officers' it was the officers' mess, but they were hosting the senior ranks. So it was like basically all the senior ranks and all the officers were on the piss in the camp. Now I had a platoon commander who was fucking sound. He was I'm not going to say his name, but he was a Welsh geezer, RRWs. It was posh as fuck, but he was an absolute social hand grenade. He was just a nightmare on the piss. Anyway. So, the morning after the fucking mess function, I went to open up the platoon office. Door was already open. Walked in there, and the platoon commander's fucking in there, lay on the floor, fucking fast asleep, stark naked, with his mess dress just fucking lobbed in the corner, surrounded by fucking the platoon stash of wank mags. Like, fucking hell. Anyway, I was like, "What are you doing, sir, you nutter?" And he sort of like comes to a bit and he's like, "Fucking hell, fucking mess, dude, fucking this, fucking that." And he sort of like scuttles off, and then the phone rings in the office. So I answered the phone, and it was the RSM, and he goes, "Corporal Seabright, RSM, is your platoon commander there?" And I was like, "No, sir." And he went, "Right, as soon as he gets in, send him up to me." I was like, "Right, oh, sir, no worries." Thought, fucking hell, what's going on here? And then one of the other platoon commanders from upstairs comes down, was like on the middle floor, comes down, comes into our office, and I'm in there, and he goes, "Where's fucking Lieutenant so-and-so?" I was like, "He's just gone." I wasn't going to grasp him up or anything, you know. I said, "Oh, he's..." Anyway, he goes, "Fucking hell, he's in the shit." And apparently what he'd done is he fucking got absolutely steaming. Like I said, he was posh as fuck, but it's an absolute fucking hand grenade. He got steaming, had a row on the RSM, just running around the mess, kicking off, fucking... And he ended up running out the mess, grabbing the RSM's fucking pay stick, legging it down the fucking road, and Zuluing it into a bush. Just fucking launched into a bush. It's like fucking hell. And then apparently he'd fucking. Oh no, that's right. And then I was like, whose are those car keys on the desk? There was a set of Mercedes car keys, and there was a Mercedes parked outside the block. And apparently, what he'd done, he'd nicked the fucking pay stick, launched it in the fucking bush, legged it into the mess. And in the officers' mess, they have to hang their car keys up on these pegs. Nicked a fucking set of car keys, nicked a Mercedes and drove it outside of our fucking block. He was in the shit big time. Anyway, RSM keeps fucking ringing me. Cub Seabright, is platoon commander there yet? I'm like, no, sir, you're not here yet. Anyway, eventually, platoon commander comes in. I'm like, you're in the fucking shit, you are, sir. And he's like, I know. He was like fucking ashen-faced, still steaming, knows his fucking career's in jeopardy here, like. And anyway, so he fucks off to the fucking RSM. And the fucking mess manager phoned from the mess, said, there's a car parked outside your block. Are the keys in the office? And obviously I had to give them the fucking car keys back. I was like, yeah. So anyway, they come down to get the car keys. Platoon commander comes back from the RSM, and I said, what? Because we was about to go on leave. I said, what happened? You know, and he goes, put it this way, I'm not going on leave. Anyway, we all fucked off on leave. I don't know what happened after that, to be fair, but I know he was in this shit big time. But I saw him a couple of years later on Telic down at Badger Palace, so he was a captain then. But anyway, what a fucking nutter. Mess function, gets fucking steaming, fucking abuses the Razman, nicks his pay stick, launches it in a bush, steals a fucking car, parks outside the block, lets himself in the platoon office, and has a wank. What a fucking nutter. Anyway, that one was fucking funny. Lads, hope you're all okay, and I'll talk to you again soon. Laters.
He's a fucking legend, isn't he?
Okay, he's done everything, hasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
How long did he do? Do we know?
He's done 22 years.
Is it?
Minimum. Yeah, he's done his full service.
Yeah, fair play
Top
to him.
bloke.
Fucking hell.
So that's all I've got. You got anything else?
I haven't got anything. No one messages me. That's your part of the show. Listener interaction. I will say, so two things from me. So Sam Stonestreet was moaning at me the other day because I was going along with the fact that all combat engineers do fucking bricklaying and chippying. And when in fact we do a whole host of things on top of that. We do bridging, demolitions, mine warfare, obviously mine clearance.
Invent tanks.
Invent tanks.
We found out today as well that the intelligence corps was invented by the engineers as well.
I didn't even bring that one up, did I?
Ah.
And also, who was it? Chris Vere said to me, so the reason why the Royal Engineers don't have any battle honours is because they've served in every battle the British Army has fought in, and that's why we have the motto, "U Beak."
They completed battles.
Completed it, mate. Just like I completed Pornhub one day.
And killed your laptop.
Killed my laptop, yeah. And the other thing is, so do you know Malcolm, the young Malcolm that comes to the breakfast every now and again? So he's ex-Army Air Corps.
Blue tack head.
Blue tack head, yeah, that was a good one that come up today.
Does anyone else have a name for the Army Air Corps? I just know with blue tack heads.
Who are you talking to? Oh, the listeners, right, sorry. So he's unable to attend our VE Day event on Sunday because he's doing the Leeds Marathon, I believe.
Oh, yeah, Cheats is doing it. I like Cheats.
So I said I'd give him a shout out. Hopefully we'll have time to make a funny video about it like we did with Sam Stonestreet and Bottle, and I'll put the link for his Just Giving page in the show notes. I thought that's fair enough. And we want to hear from you if you've got any events lined up, charity fundraising. Obviously, we've got the auction, so go on our Facebook page. You can't fucking miss it. There's fucking every football shirt, man to man.
Please, someone bid on the Spurs pennant.
Otherwise,
I've got to pay for it.
How much is it? Do they retail that on eBay or in the club shop?
I don't even know, to be fair.
Like 50 quid, and you've paid.
No, 150 something. Like that.
150. Well, you're fucking quids in then, aren't you?
I don't fucking want it.
Yeah, fair one. Why'd you fucking bid on it then?
Cheer her up.
Oh, right, yeah. Trying to think.
But she fucking outbid me.
Yeah, fucking hell. Yeah, it's because you and your missus don't talk, do you?
It's nice though.
Peaceful life.
Yeah. I wish.
What else? Anything else? Anything else for today? Because this is going to be a fucking long one. I think we're up to an hour and 40. So,
Quick one.
go on.
What did you call flashing beacons in the Royal Engineers?
What do you mean?
You know the flashing beacon on a vehicle?
Yeah.
Did you have a name for it?
Not that I can remember.
We used to call it a winky wonky.
Yeah, a winky pot, yeah.
Oh, Friday.
Yeah.
Funny.
Well, you didn't have to have them on tanks. That would be like...
You did when you was on the roads. Roads?
My own.
I can't even talk with that on the roads.
Yeah.
Or on ranges.
Okay.
Yeah, you always had it on a range.
Yeah.
We had flags we had to use as well on a range.
All right.
To show what
Semaphore.
No, it weren't a semaphore. It was just to show what state the vehicle's in.
Okay.
What? If you was
Parked, moving.
action, loaded.
All right.
Or if you had comms problems, it's like green, I think green flag or something is comms.
So what? So you just sat there with green flag up like that, getting your fat ones down.
So obviously, if someone has to, because when it's on the firing point, you only get up on the back of the tank.
Yeah.
So if you didn't have the flag system, the turret might spin around or whatever. So
Yeah, and cream someone out. Has
Yeah.
that ever happened? Must have done.
probably, yeah.
Yeah.
They do move fucking quick.
Yeah, I bet
I think that's a rotation. It's like 9 seconds, which sounds like a long time,
Yeah.
but it's quick.
Yeah, yeah, I
So
bet.
rip your legs off if they was because when you're in the turret as well, you're not in like a concealed little turret thing. You know, you can put your legs through them, it'd rip them off.
Bloody hell.
And quite often, I don't think so much no more, but we used to have bag charges because literally in a canvas bag, all the propellant.
Yeah.
You'd have them stashed everywhere, and they'd get caught in the traverse and get ripped apart.
Yeah.
So he would get Donald's would have his rifle bent 90 degrees. So yeah, they were dangerous.
We were gonna play the Matt Goss from Bros
That's the one.
song, which is written and released for the Not Forgotten charity, but we're running out of time, so we'll do that next week. But we'll give it another shout, give it a plug in.
What's people's opinion? Ever listen to it? It's a good song. Ain't the sort of thing I'd listen to.
I still ain't listened to
But
it.
I can imagine a lot of mums and sisters and girlfriends crying when they waved their boyfriend or girlfriend or them friend.
Them friend, yeah. We've I haven't. Obviously, we're doing the VE Day event, so we're having a raffle. By the time, when's this going to go out? Well, this is my drama. I haven't got a laptop, so I'm hoping I'll work it out. I'll do it on Preston's computer.
How old's he?
13.
Yeah, probably be safe then. Bit young for it.
Yeah, just delete the history. Yeah. Yeah, so we ain't got no muckers remembered this week. But if you've got one, send it in the future. But to be fair, I read out Matey from Stevenage.
Yeah.
But I was reading that and I thought, oh, this would have been a muckers remembered, but
It is a mucker.
Yeah.
We've remembered him.
exactly.
So
And
that's
he's a
what it's all
local
about.
lad.
It's about just getting the names out there so they're remembered.
So we have got a Bravo Zulu, which is quite an interesting one. So they're going to we're actually I think we're lining up a Beyond the Wire to talk to them in a bit more detail. But today's Bravo Zulu shout out is to a charity called Military versus Cancer, and they focus on alleviating the effects of cancer for military personnel, past and present, as well as their immediate families. So some of the services they can provide: additional family stroke nursing care funding, travel costs for treatment, including hotel stays for family members, home adaptations, respite breaks, memory-making trips, special experiences, especially for those with terminal diagnoses, and peer group community support for serving forces members and their families. And I'd never heard of these, and I think they reached out to us, didn't they?
I think so, yeah.
And obviously, because I don't know what the statistics are now. What is it? 1 in 3, 1 in 4 of us are.
I would like to know a bit more detail because I'll tell you what, I don't know about Afghanistan, but in Iraq we had these, later on the telex, we had these, a lot of the roadside bombs were set off by a PIR, passive infrared,
Yeah.
and we had equipment that used to set them off early.
Yeah.
And we was told, basically, you don't walk in front of that. The amount of times the driver would leave it switched on and you'd be clear. We didn't call it barmering out there. I don't think it had a name.
Yeah.
We'd be hour clearing the road in front of it and then go, oh, shit, I've left it on, by the way. Sorry about that.
Well, it's fucking burning into someone's
Yeah,
skin.
so I wonder if You know, obviously there are statistics, but I'd like to know if Iraq veterans are more prone to cancer.
That'd be an interesting one, wouldn't it? But I don't think you're going to get anywhere with it because there's that thing about the nuclear veterans, isn't there?
Yeah.
And what they got fucking.
Yeah.
What's the word?
Compensated.
No.
Recognised.
Inflicted with. I was going to say, is it inflicted? Or they got
Nope.
basically what they went through, and there's a big thing in Parliament, isn't there?
And then you got fucking submariners. I used to know a couple. Used to play a game so you can cuddle the reactor and see who's the most radioactive.
Fucking weirdos, aren't they? Yeah. Childless. Jaffers.
Funny though.
Yeah, fine. You don't want fucking submariners.
Maybe that's where ginger kids come from.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, submariners might get ginger kids because of the radiation poisoning. Oh. Glow in the dark hair.
But yeah, so we're going to I'll put their details in the show notes. And also as I said, so I can't remember. We've got so much shit coming up. My mind is like a fucking, like, I don't know. What is my mind like?
Like a dog with two dicks.
Fucking hell. Yeah, it's pretty full. But we've definitely got booked in for them to come on and do the Beyond the Wire. So listen out for that because, as I said, what is it? 1 in 3, 1 in 4 of us are likely to succumb to cancer. And this charity seems to be doing some good shit. So look out for that. So yeah, that brings another episode to a close. I think it's been a good one. Look forward to VE Day VE Day event on Sunday. Check out the football shirts. Check out the raffle prizes.
Yeah, we've got some good raffle prizes, haven't we, as well?
Yeah, signed picture of Chizard for all the ladies out there listening. What else? Next Tuesday. Next Tuesday evening, I think you can't join me.
No, I'm
can
on
you?
nights.
So I'll be down in Parliament attending the all-party parliamentary group for the armed forces community, which is be interesting. I'm really keen. If you've heard about Valor and what you think about it, let us know.
Don't just say shit though, you know.
Yeah,
Give us a bit of constructive.
Yeah, constructive.
So we can feed it back to the politicians.
And enjoy VE Day, I think. Yeah, like remember. And don't just try and add a bit of education, like for the kids and that. I know I've started sharing a few facts and statistics about World War II, which may interest people.
The thing is, it weren't the end of World War II, was it?
Nah.
It carried on to August.
So, and we have, I know I went a bit deep with my story and how it affected me. So if you can relate to it or reach out to someone, reach out to us, reach out to anyone close to you and just share the experience. And you know what I mean, you're not alone out there. What are we going to do next week? I thought I did mention about doing something, talking about life after service, like maybe some of the mental health, maybe a bit of a serious one, but keep the funny stories coming in because we like to, what is it you said? Hit you around the head with one hand.
Stroke you with one hand and slap you with the other.
Yeah, that's it. So keep the stories coming in.
Yeah, you know, and saying, like you say, life after, maybe if people could send some pictures of yourself in the army and then what state you was in afterwards, whether you got a big shit beard or dodgy haircuts or
beer gut.
Yeah.
Or like a picture of you when you serve with 2 legs and then a picture of you afterwards with no legs. That'd be good.
Yeah, be good laugh, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We'll have a competition. Who's the ugliest?
Yeah. There's going to be a few possibilities for that, isn't there?
Who's lost the most body parts?
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Aye.
Yeah.
Anything else, Steve? Do you want to contribute anything? How do you think today's gone?
Yeah, good.
You're looking for, tomorrow, Thursday, we're at have I already mentioned this? We're at that VE Day concert in London. It's on TV. So if keep an eye out, we're going to be wearing Union flag waistcoats. I'm going to have a Union flag bow tie, possibly a couple of bucket hats. Yeah,
should be
look
good.
out for us.
Yeah.
Steve's going to get us some ponchos just in case it rains.
Great British weather.
But yeah, anything else?
No.
Anything else you want to say?
I don't want to say anything.
No? Sure?
My dog's farted again.
Has it? Right then, that's us done reliving the nightmares and probably triggering a few too. If you're still here and not dry heaving into a ration pack, congratulations. You're definitely one of us.
Yeah, whether it was Ops, the block, or that one lad who lived like a troll under a pile of crusty socks, we salute you for surviving the unspeakable. And if you were that lad, go apologise to your old section.
If today's episode jogged a memory or gave you a 1,000-yard stare, send it in. We want the worst, the darker, the better. If it made you laugh and question reality, we'll take it.
Voice notes, DMs, scribbled in blood on a used FFD. However you want to get it to us. We're on Facebook at the Muster Point Veterans, X at the Muster Point, TikTok at the Muster Point, and YouTube at the Muster Point Veterans.
And as always, if you're out there supporting veterans, whether you're running a charity, helping someone through the rough patches, or just making sure they don't eat cold beans for tea every night, drop us a line. We'll give you a proper Bravo Zulu shout out.
Subscribe, rate the podcast, unless you're a bit of Lance Jack with a grudge, in which case go iron something. And share this with your mucker who once woke up under a Land Rover in January.
Next week, we're back with more mayhem, military madness, and probably another therapy bill. Until then, parade forward up!
Later, you trauma, little left.